everybody. Welcome to the Rochester Local Podcast. I am here today with Sameer Sharma. Hi, Sameer.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing swell.
I'm super happy that you're on the podcast today. Thank you for saying yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, Sameer. So before we get into your questions, I want to know a couple things about you and Rochester. So how long have you been living in Rochester?
Since 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
What brought you here?
I followed a girl.
Oh.
Yep. She got a job at the art center.
Uh-huh.
So I moved here without a job and stayed.
Yep.
And this girl is now my wife. So
Isn't that excellent how things work out like that?
So
Shout out to Emily. Hi, Emily.
Hey, Emily.
Uh-huh. So that's a pretty cute story, right?
Yeah, super cute.
Yeah. Okay, so before that, where were you? Did you say?
I was in Milwaukee.
Okay.
And prior to that, Kansas City.
Okay.
Then I was, long story short, I was born in Guam, lived in Baltimore.
Yep. When did you move to Baltimore?
When I was like 6 months old.
Okay, so you were born in Guam.
I was born in Guam. I lived in Baltimore during the series, around the time the series The Wire was shot. And then moved to Kansas, where I was raised. So I'm a Kansas boy at heart.
Kansas boy at heart. But then what took you to Milwaukee?
I got tired of school.
Okay.
Quit.
Mm-hmm.
I know, hot take. Indian guy quitting school.
Oh.
Scandal.
Come on.
Left. I got a job in Milwaukee with my cousin who was helping me out. This was pre-Obamacare, so I needed health insurance.
Absolutely.
And hated it. Hated healthcare. And quit my job, walked into a restaurant, got hired, and then 6 months later, met Emily, and here we are.
Here you are. Okay, Sameer, so I've known you since probably 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Where did we meet? When was the first time we met?
I believe it was a Tuesday night. You would come after you worked upstairs.
Yep.
And you would get an old fashioned.
But where were we? You failed to say.
Oh, we were at the Blue Duck Kitchen.
Blue Duck Kitchen.
I was working.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think I said hi and we chatted and now we're friends.
Yep.
Now we're buddies.
Yeah.
So for those of you that may not remember, above Blue Duck Kitchen was Collider co-working space. And I spent a lot of my early years of Rochester Local, back then it was Rochester MN Mom's Blog, in this co-working space. And my kids were at home and I had very limited working time. And I would take a Tuesday night and I would work. And it was always my night to work. AJ would come home and I would take off and I would go to Collider and work for a little while.
And then you would get an old fashioned.
And then I would walk down to the bar and get an old fashioned. I knew no one. And I built so much community there.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't know that you knew no one. Being a person that actually knew no one, it seemed like you knew a lot of people. I will say it was a really funny Tuesday night, though, because you would come down after dinner service, kind of ended, sit at the bar, and you'd talk to Paul about his old fashioned. And
true.
Then you would
Shout out to Paul. Hi, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
I got coffee with him earlier today. He says hi as well.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. And he would tell you about his old fashioned that day. He would say it's the best, and then you'd be like, I want another one. And then you would falter and you'd be like, I don't know if I want another one.
Yeah.
Do I want another one?
And then I would.
Every week.
Yep, every single week. Yep, I would always have two. But it would just be like this long, drawn out thing. And I just got to be friends with so many people at Blue Duck. And I would say it's still a super important place to both of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Because you were there for a long time.
I was. They got me started.
Yeah,
so,
and shout out to Eric and Jenny. We love you. I know Jenny listens. So.
I'm okay with Eric, but Jenny, I love you.
Eric. Oh, poor Eric. All right, are you ready to jump into your questions?
I'm so ready.
Okay, here we go. So we ask a lot of the same questions over and over, but it's so fun because we get different answers. So I'm excited to hear what you have to say. What makes you good at your job? Now we can talk about what you do.
So my job is in sales. I work for a company that produces alcohol, sells it to a distributor who sells it to liquor stores and bars and restaurants.
Sure.
So it's a very relationship-based job. And so I would say the things that make me good at my job are being empathetic.
Yeah.
And being jovial.
Jovial, great word.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are.
You know, I think that's my vibe.
I actually don't think I've ever seen you grumpy.
You haven't seen me in the morning.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's rough.
So I've never seen you grumpy or unhappy.
I mean,
Emily,
yeah.
do you have anything to say? But it's true. You're always wearing a smile. So
I appreciate it.
I could see that going a long way in being great at what you do at your job. And so,
Thanks.
yeah. All right. Next up, best Rochester adventure you've been on.
So I did rack my brain on this one. But I think I'm going to go with the most recent one.
Yeah.
Because it was the sauna experience behind
Oh,
Abe's.
behind Old Abe's, yes.
Yeah. It was My Sauna Life. They're a new company here in town.
Uh-huh.
And they did 3 nights or 3 days of sauna.
Yep.
Sauna Life.
Sauna Life. Mm-hmm.
And it was fun. It was super. I mean, it was everything you love about Rochester. I bought 4 tickets. Actually, bought 5 tickets. One of them was for the wrong day because I'm really good at things.
Oh, wow.
And there were 2 people that we had met that day there.
Oh.
In the sauna.
Yeah.
And it was fun. It was a good conversation about nothing, and it was fantastic.
So I also bought tickets to the sauna event at Abe's, and when it came down to it, we didn't have childcare. So I sent AJ, shout out to AJ. He's behind the camera right now. So AJ got to go to the sauna. So he just kind of had a lovely afternoon cooking in the sauna. He said it was a lot of fun. I hope that we have more stuff like that.
Yeah, these guys. There is a husband and wife couple. They just started, and I think it's gonna work. Like because it's mobile. They'll come to your house. They park it there. You go in. You come out. You dunk yourself in some water. Drink some beers.
I cannot. I mean,
great.
I think they're just starting out. So next winter, the whole season, right?
Yeah.
They're going to have that whole season.
We're also in Minnesota, so you have
6 months of winter.
And you also got the beginning of summer. You have Gene weather. You can generally, go into a sauna. I think.
Oh my gosh. Imagine doing a sauna that first truly crisp fall morning.
Yeah, it'd be perfect.
Perfect. I'm going to get that on my calendar right now.
You should.
I should reach out to him. Okay. What's your go-to karaoke song?
So actually I have a couple depending on my mood, but consistently it's been Build Me Up Buttercup.
Oh,
I like to get the crowd involved.
Classic.
Can't go wrong.
Yep. Everybody knows one line in that song.
Yep. Yeah.
Sure. Do you know more than that?
I know the whole song.
Well done.
Thanks.
Okay, so that's one mood. What you said you have a couple depending on different mood.
Yeah. Whitney as of late.
Uh-huh.
I can't do it justice, but it's just funny. And everybody also knows the words to the song, so I just want to dance with somebody.
Oh, yes. Oh, and now you got me all in the mood. I'm going to have to listen to that song tonight. Good ones. Those are good ones, Sameer.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. What's one thing you will always spend more money on?
Oh, yeah, food. I think food and I think restaurants in general. If it's a good product, I like to keep investing my time and money in it. So I am not averse to buying a couple bottles of wine and maybe a couple desserts if the night takes me there.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
So you have no problems with that. Like
I
multiple
don't.
dessert on the menu, you're going to order one of each that looks good to you.
I would definitely. My wife has a problem with that, so I can't always do that.
Yeah.
However, it's not necessarily fiscally responsible, but I think a good time is a good time. A good conversation is a good conversation. And so, at the Blue Duck, for instance, if they have a couple things you can't, make the choice on, you just get both.
Both.
That's
Absolutely.
the worst case scenario. You take it home.
This reminds me of I saw you and Emily at Mezzanine downtown on the opening.
Yeah.
Remember? It was like last February, I think.
It was, yeah.
And we were sampling desserts, but it reminded me of something that we were talking about that night. And I just recently used it. And you asked me, you're like, how do you research what to do in a new city? What's the first thing that you do? Do you remember this conversation?
It seems like a great question that I would ask. I do remember the conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And so I said, well, I'll, look for a website like mine, like Rochester Local. And you had the most genius response. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, you go on Instagram, you find a bar you like, you find a bartender you like, and then you go and see what they like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I just was like, that is super smart.
It's kind of creepy. But yeah, no, it is. It works.
It totally works.
Generally works. Just remember that they don't know you when you do go to their bar. And They're not going to give you a hug.
Hey, man, it was super cool seeing you go to that one party that I saw you on Instagram.
Yeah, hey, thanks for the recommendation about this place. Who are you? Is normally what follows.
Gosh. So I just used that, your little trick. I'm going to Portland next week.
Fantastic.
I know, and so I just used that. So
Portland's awesome.
Go to Instagram, find a cool restaurant, find their cool bartender, and check out what the bartender does.
Which Portland are you going to, Oregon or Maine?
Oregon.
Okay. Are you going to go do the wine?
I mean, I could.
You should.
I'll have to get your recommendation.
Do you have a car, or are you?
I do have a car.
Fantastic.
Shout out to my friends. You know who you are, because they said that I could use their car.
There you go.
When I'm there.
Yeah.
I mean, so AJ's going there for 10 days for
Lucky.
a work conference. I know. And I was like, forget this. I'm going too. So I'm going for 5.
Nice.
And I have no agenda except for that. I am going to go on a coast adventure one day. There's this cool suspension bridge, and then we're going to go to the coast, because I've never been to the Oregon coast.
That's awesome. I'm actually, underneath this shirt is another green shirt.
Yeah.
And our family did a family trip in Oregon 3 summers ago. I, unfortunately, was finishing my last class and finally my undergrad degree, so I had to do that. But they did the coast. They did a sandcastle adventure. They did a lot of really fun things. Yeah. And Oregon's the climate's amazing. The wine was really fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot smaller and a lot bigger than you think it is. It's a weird and there's a lot of Minnesotans everywhere. Like the hotel that we were in the first night, person from Rochester checked us in.
No.
Yeah. And then the bakery I went to for one of my nephews has celiacs. So I went to get, gluten-free everything. And they were from Milwaukee. So a lot of Midwestern, northern Midwestern vibes.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just excited to explore a new city. And I was just at Thesis earlier today chatting with Allison and Adam. And Adam told me that I have to go I asked for a suggestion on a brewery.
Mm-hmm.
Adam and Allison are the owners of Thesis. Shout out to Thesis. And Adam told me that if I like lagers, I got to go to Wayfinder. Have you heard about Wayfinder?
I have heard about Wayfinder. I've not been to Wayfinder.
He said it's the best.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. So I'm going to do that too. So good recommendations. All right. What is one random eccentric fact about yourself?
Normally my go-to is that I was born in Guam, but that one got
I
spoiled,
stole that.
so thanks.
I stole that in the intro.
Eccentric fact. You know what? This one stumped me too when I was trying to think, and I was like, I'll come up with something on the fly. I like to, on my birthday, do something I've never done before.
Okay.
That's my one rule.
I like that.
Yeah. So my first one in Rochester, I didn't have a job when I moved here, so the Blue Duck was gracious enough to hire me, despite the fact that they were fully staffed, and I just begged them for a job.
You just walked in and were like, "Hello, would you like to hire me?"
Basically, when I moved here without a job, I did some research online, and Rochester Magazine's best of the 10-year edition was out.
Yeah.
So they highlighted the things that were the best of 10 years prior to when we moved, 2006. The best restaurant in town was an all-you-can-eat buffet. In 2006 in Rochester, and I was terrified that I was moving to a place where that was the best of.
Oh my!
So when the Blue Duck opened up, I essentially just harassed them, and Jenny finally was like, "Fine, okay, I'll give you a job." No, she was great. Yeah, and so the rest is
okay. So, but what was the thing
the birthday?
You did?
Yeah, tangents, they're great. So I was so I had to go to work that day, and I didn't know anybody in town.
Yeah.
And Emily was working, so I had a bike, and I went to every coffee shop, in the downtown universe at the time. So started at Forager, then went to Moke on the street, went to this old Somalian coffee shop right next to Castle.
What was it? Almi.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that was probably one of my favorites. Went to Steam. Had to get a couple punches there because I needed that T-shirt.
Yes. Hello. I still have 20 cards punched hanging out in my drawer, and I've got to redeem them.
I think you should frame them and give them to Will.
I'm coming. Right? 20 cards punched.
Yeah. I don't know what you could do with that. I feel like you should do something special for it.
I told Will that
she needs a onesie.
Nope, I need my photo on the shelf with Donna.
Oh.
Hi, Donna. That's what I need. I
Okay.
feel like I need my photo on the shelf as soon as I redeem those cards, right?
I like it.
Yeah. Oh, right. What's the best burger in Rochester?
So, I didn't tell you this because I'm a terrible person, but I don't eat beef.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I did ask Emily for her favorite burger because she's from Wisconsin.
Yep.
And they have a lot of opinions on burgers. Her hot take was Snappy Stop.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
She loves Snappy Stop.
Wow.
So one, it's not that far from her house.
Uh-huh.
But two, it has, like she claims,
Yep.
it's the perfect burger with everything on it. It's like a classic Wisconsin style burger.
Huh.
And it's just always great.
So Mom Sue said that too. She thought which was on episode number 4. She said she loved a Snappy Stop burger. So let's pivot.
I pivoted, so I was going to answer this question if that's all right. Because I'm not a big, I like veggie burgers. I think they're fine.
Yeah.
They're just not super exciting most of the time.
Yeah.
Hot Chip does a really good job, but I was going to do favorite sandwich on Thursdays on First.
Okay. Yes, I can't wait. Tell me.
It's a tie.
A tie.
Between the lobster roll at Blue Duck, because sometimes you just want a lobster roll.
Yep.
And I don't know what he does, but Clevin figured it out. And then the other one is Francisco's, the jerk chicken sandwich. It's like to die for. So
it's so good.
I have done a Thursdays on First where I've gotten both because I couldn't make the difference.
Because rewind to question whatever, you will always spend more money on food.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
So Francisco's has had another mention by Tiffany Alexandria on this podcast. You know what? One of my favorite things to eat in the entire city of Rochester is their coconut rice.
Yeah. So good.
So good. Now my mouth is watering. Yeah. I may need to stop there this weekend.
What is your favorite food on Thursdays on First? Yeah, I'm putting it on the spot.
Man.
And there are a lot of great options, and it could be mood dependent, like if it's a rainy day.
Okay, so if I'm on the street and I'm at a street fair type thing, I love a burger, like classic. Yeah. So I'll get a Marvin's burger at Newt's. But oftentimes I'm with kids and I'm schlepping kids and, running around with kids. So I get food that's easy to eat. And I cannot actually leave Thursdays on First without getting a bag of Carol's corn, but just the cheddar flavor.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. Yep. The cheddar's where it's at.
Cheddar. Yeah. Just not the Chicago mix.
Yes. Yeah. If I get the mix, I only eat the cheddar and
Yep.
Yeah.
That is it. It is just the cheddar and I live for it. I love it with my whole heart. So if I'm at Thursdays and I'm eating like a meal, it's probably going to be a Marvin's burger. If not, cheddar Carol's corn. Love that stuff. All right. It's date night. Mm-hmm. Where are you going?
Obviously the duck is always in the contention.
Always.
Otherwise Thai Pop. Can't go wrong.
So what do you order at Thai Pop?
House curry.
Mm-hmm.
We get the yum sauce on the tofu or the chicken.
Oh, so good.
And then we do the cold noodle salad.
The cold noodle salad.
Spicy.
I had that the other day and I for lunch and I hadn't had it yet. And it was so good. I brought half of it back for AJ and he inhaled it and we were both like, this is so good. It made us want to cry. It was all the flavors. All right, next question for you, Sameer. Fill in the blank. Rochester needs a
indoor dog park. Sorry.
An indoor dog park. So yes, I would agree with all of these things. And you have a dog.
Well, we have a dog. He's a short-haired pit boxer. Mm-hmm. We take him to Soldiers Field in the winter.
Yep.
So if you don't know and you have a dog, go to Soldiers Field.
Yep, they can just run around.
The golf course is open. Mm-hmm. Make sure you pick up your poop.
Yep.
So we go there, but, it's cold. His paws get raw. So it would be really nice if we had a place indoor just because, we play catch with him in our living room, and it's not that big. And it gets a little tight.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
You throw the ball 3 feet.
Yep.
Good job.
Much, yeah. And Emily's not very good at catching, so it's always kind of fun.
Have you been to Unleashed Hops and Hounds in the cities?
I have not.
So I was up in the cities with my kids like a couple weekends back, and I literally walked into this place on accident. I thought I was walking to the Minneapolis Indoor Farmers Market. I was not. And I walked in, and it is amazing. As a dog person, I love dogs. We walked in. but no one loves dogs more than my daughter. And we walked in, and there's a full service kitchen with a bar. They had a Bloody Mary bar on Saturdays, and then you like register your dog, and you sign up, and you upload vaccinations and all these things, and it's literally like a warehouse. And they play, and like friend groups were there, and everybody was having a Bloody Mary, and then it was lunchtime. We were there for 3 hours. And we had
you didn't even have dogs.
We didn't have a dog. So I actually like found the owner that day, and I was like, "What can I do to make this a reality?" Northgate Health Club.
What do you mean? They're gonna do it?
No, put the dog park right there.
Oh, yeah. I think, do they do food at Unleashed Hops and Hounds?
They do.
Yeah, so that's the only problem with Rochester coding is that you can't have dogs around food inside in Rochester. A lot of places I know get away with it with like park a food truck outside.
Do you know what though?
What's that?
It was like 2 separate. So it was like you walked in, and it was like the full service bar, and then there was several doors that you had to walk through, but then there was a giant glass wall.
Ooh. That makes sense. Yeah,
yep.
So they probably just separated it off then.
That's exactly right.
That makes sense.
Oh, okay. Okay. Can you make that happen, please?
I cannot, but I wish I could. That'd be awesome. I wish I had millions of dollars.
All right. Here's your last question. Are you ready? Sameer, what would your warning label be?
It's probably that. So we've been here since 2016, and we've met some really great people here. Mm-hmm. I do think Rochester can be a bit insulated at times. Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of a divide. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but in the young professional crowd between the Mayo folks and the non-Mayo folks.
Sure. I can see that.
So the warning label is just be patient. Try to make meaningful interactions happen when you can. And volunteer and get involved as quickly as possible, because that's how you meet people here.
Yeah. That's such good points. I would completely agree with the volunteering part, getting into your community and meeting like-minded people.
Yeah, I mean, even rec sports, but just you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I think that's really hard post-college. Yeah. Because normally you're just friends with people you work with.
Yep.
And we're too small of a place for that to happen.
It's true.
So yeah, the warning label is just be patient if you're not part of Mayo, and if you're part of Mayo, extend a hand.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of hard.
Yeah. Agreed. Good answer. I like that answer. Nice. Okay, so you know that something else that we do on the Rochester Local Podcast is we go back in history, and we talk about things that happened in Rochester, let's say 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are actually going back to 1913. Okay. Ooh. We're in the second week of March in 1913, and they did a news article about Rochester growing more healthy, and they were interviewing. It was a multifaceted interview, and they were interviewing all kinds of people. But this really stuck out to me. I'm going to read it to you. Okay. So this is part of this news article. A resident of Rochester was in St. Paul and Minneapolis one day this week, and in both places, he was asked how things are in his hometown. To this, he replied, "What is it to you how things are in Rochester? You are nothing to us. You take no interest in our city or business. We go to Chicago." And then he goes on to talk about he can get on a train, get in the berth of a sleeping car, go to Chicago, have a full day there, and then return home well rested. And he was talking about if we go to the cities, we must start at an early hour in the morning, take a mighty uncomfortable ride, and if we are on time, which will be providential interference, we have a few hours, 5 or 6 at most, to transact our business and return home in the same disagreeable way we left. We go where we have the easiest way and the longest time to do our business. It costs a little more, but the comfort is worth the extra expense.
I will just say, as a person who's been traveling to the cities a bit more, and you probably can relate, it hasn't really changed a lot for business. Because you get up there, it takes an hour and a half. I'm generally disagreeable at that point because you've hit a little bit of traffic. And then, I mean, when you're in my industry, you might hit lunch, which you don't want to walk into a restaurant talking to people during lunch.
It's true.
It's the worst thing you could do.
Right.
So then you have to wait another hour and a half to talk to somebody, right?
I mean, there is a lot of logic in what he's saying. He's like, fine, if you've got to go do business, you might as well make it like get on the train, sleep, wake up in Chicago, do your thing, get back on a train, sleep, and wake up at home.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
He made a point. So Highway 52 used to be horrible. Like back in the day.
I can't imagine that because it's pretty terrible.
So, between Zumbrota and like Hayter,
Yeah.
like the open fields and how windy it is. So my dad owned a trucking company, local trucking company. He would go up to the cities all the time when I was growing up. And they had this saying, Mater to Hater. Because once you get to Hayter...
The worst part is I'm going to think of this every time I drive by
yes,
that
you
sign.
will.
Yeah.
You made her to Hater.
Oh, gosh.
So, because once you made it to that sign, the landscape changed and you weren't in open fields anymore.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to deal with like
the wind.
black ice and the wind and the blowing and drifting snow. So imagine in 1913 how uncomfortable the ride to the cities might have been at that point.
I mean, I think AJ was talking about it earlier when he mentioned that there was a train from Rochester to Chicago. I wish that was back.
Yes.
Because it probably met at the Porch and Cellar.
Yes, that's exactly right.
And then would go that way. That would have been really cool. I would love that now.
I know.
I would even prefer to have a train from Rochester to the cities as well. But
I think a lot of people would. I think that idea is still kind of kaputsi's.
Yeah.
Which is such a bummer.
That was a big thing when I moved here.
I know. That's right. It was about 2016. That's right.
Hope.
Okay, well, here we are. We're at the time of the podcast where you get to put out your sticker on our sticker board.
Oh, sweet.
So here's our sticker board, and for those of you tuning in for the first time, we have a sticker board where our guest gets to put a sticker. Oops. I apologize, AJ. So the part of Rochester Local Podcast where we get to talk about a business that our guest loves when they get to put a sticker on our sticker board. So, Sameer.
So
what are you talking about?
I'm going to talk about Abe's.
Old Abe.
Old Abe's Coffee Shop,
Mm-hmm.
which I've run into you there before multiple times.
Love Old
You
Abe's.
frequent it. I went there to get a sticker.
And you brought us donuts.
And I brought donuts because Happy St. Patty's Day.
Oh, yes, it is St. Patrick's Day.
Somebody's
so.
not wearing green. It's fine. And
wait.
Abe recommended I take 2 stickers.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
One is Slaughterly Park because I live there, and it's actually really funny that people call it that because it's not an unsafe place to live. It is very safe.
Slaughterly Park is a delightful neighborhood in Rochester.
Art on the Ave happens there.
Art on the Ave, some wonderful, I love the houses there. They've got so much character.
And pro tip, the park in Slaughterly Park is generally pretty easy to get to, and it's not super crowded.
And it's not crowded, exactly. And you can have easy access to a disc golf course.
Yep.
Right?
And and then I take the dog there in the summer too, because like you can go around the river. I don't know if this is entirely legal, but we go off leash. He's ball obsessed, and he'll run around alongside the river. Imagine if there was a dog run there. Crazy.
Crazy. Good idea. So you've got Slaughterly Park.
But yeah, speaking of Abe, so he gave me that as well for your board, and then because you had the burger question, I chose the Nope cow one because I don't eat beef. I thought that was really funny. But,
that is actually really funny. Yeah, so go ahead, put those on. So,
okay, cool.
I know why Abe gave you this one too. Nice play, Abe. So a couple of years ago, AJ and I had a screen printing business, and we actually had the screen printing set up in our workshop, which is right next door to the studio that we're sitting in. And Abe was like, "You should make a T-shirt that says Slaughterly Park, and sell it as part of your merch for Rochester Mom." And I said, "Absolutely not. That is very off-brand." And he's like, "Fine, then I'm going to make a sticker about it."
Wait, no, he had a T-shirt. We have a T-shirt that says that too.
I know. It's because I didn't make the T-shirt, so he got it made himself.
You know, you should have jumped onto that idea. I think Rochester moms should talk about misconceptions.
I should, and that's one of the
important to
reasons
raise
why.
your children.
That's one of the reasons I didn't, is because I'm like, I am not supporting this because it's not that.
I mean, that's why we loved it, because it's just a joke. I mean, when you move from Milwaukee and somebody says something in Rochester is unsafe, it's kind of funny.
Thanks, Abe, for your stickers.
Yeah, Abe.
Appreciate. So this is the Nope cow, and it's like the cow with all the sections that you might sometimes see at like a butcher shop, and each section of the cow says nope, 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 nope.
I didn't bring the pig though because I eat barbecue and I love it, so that would have been like
that's fine.
Yeah.
Sameer, thank you for being on our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
This was very fun.
It was super fun. Let me thank you as well, because there's not a lot of resources in town that do highlight things that are happening. and you've been pretty dedicated to that. So
Aw.
thank you for consolidating that.
Thanks, Sameer.
Over the years, it's been very helpful.
Oh, thank you.
And yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, I love what I do. So, again, thank you for being on the podcast. And thanks to everybody for listening. And we will see you out and about.